Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yo, hey, check it out, John. We're live on YouTube. Yo.
Mic's working?
Yeah, I don't know. Do a mic check for me.
Checking the mic. Check-in mic. Check. Is it checked yet?
Yeah, it's pretty checked.
Thank you.
Check yourself. All right? Before you wreck yourself, what's up, everybody? It's me. It's Johnny. It's the Wrestling Uncensored pre-show. We're live on YouTube. Got a couple people already joining in. I'll check your comments and so on. We've got things to get to. 90 Day Fiancé.
Yep.
90 Day Fiancé talk has been really strong since last week. I know you were seeing this on Twitter. It's been serious. A lot of people that watch wrestling or 90 Day Fiancé also listen to Wrestling Uncensored. Like, a lot of people that listen to our show are also 90 Day Fiancé viewers, which is amazing. I had no idea we had such a crossover fan base.
It's pretty crazy.
It is kind of crazy, but I love it because I love 90 Day Fiancé. I look forward to the new episodes every Sunday on TLC, and we're going to talk about 90 Day Fiancé now on the pre-show.
But before that, I did see a movie this week.
Mm-hmm.
The new Mr. Rogers movie.
But you didn't see Total Bellas. You didn't see New Japan's Dominion. And you didn't see 90 Day Fiancé. You're really slipping. You saw a Mr. Rogers movie, but, like, you didn't see anything else, man. You didn't see any of the important things, like 90 Day Fiancé.
Did you watch Mr. Rogers when you were a kid?
Yeah. Wally says 1 week ago he'd never seen 90 Day Fiancé, and now he's up to date on the latest episode. Wally has more dedication to Wrestling Uncensored than you do right now, brother.
Where was Wally last month or so?
Well, he had internet issues. You're going to hold that against him? How dare you?
I didn't disappear.
Oh, no. Anthony's watching as well, and he's commenting. He says, "What's up, homies? Mr. Rogers is the best." Of course you like Mr. Rogers, Anthony, because he was, like, in the 70s, and you loved the 70s.
Did you ever see some Mr. Rogers episodes in the 70s? They were very controversial. Like, for kids to watch that, it's insane. He talked about assassination.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I don't care. The movie was good?
The movie was really impressive.
Was it a documentary?
Yeah. And it was just really impressive how it was put together, how it pretty much just talked about everyone who did the show. Mr. Rogers passed away in 2003. But his legacy, it lives on.
Antoinette says, "I like Mr. Rogers and I'm not old." Yeah, I know. I'm not saying you have to be old to like Mr. Rogers. I was just taking a shot at Anthony. Anthony, I like that he's watching. He has no idea what he's in for tonight on the show. There's been some controversy on Twitter, Anthony, and we're going to get to it tonight on the show. And Muscles Marco is going to fill us in on the details. Get ready.
Speaking of controversy.
And Wally says that you're burying him.
Well, I got buried, too, on the UFC show, if you watch that, so.
You did not get buried.
Oh, I got completely buried.
You're taking offense. And we had a whole talk before the show where I was like, man, don't take offense. You know, I'm saying Johnny the Jobber because you job a lot in your matches. It has nothing to do with the amount of skill that you have. You're a good wrestler. It's just the booking. I'm commenting on the stupid booking because you're a giant and you're super jacked and you lose to people that, are tiny and have no business being in wrestling, let alone beating a guy like you who dedicates so much to professional wrestling. It's an insult to the business every time you lose to one of these jabronis. They're not putting in the work. They're not in the gym. They're not lifting like you are. They don't have the size. They don't have the strength. They don't have the charisma. They don't have the ability. So when I call you Johnny the Jobber, I am making a commentary on the indie wrestling scene and how poorly they book you.
Yeah, you didn't address that whatsoever. You just said
Well, I'm addressing it now. It's on the record now, okay?
Thank you.
Sorry.
I appreciate it.
Didn't mean to make you feel like you were getting buried on the UFC post-show, which is on our YouTube channel right now, exclusively on YouTube. The reason for that is because I forgot to press record on the podcast version. So we we don't have an audio version. It's on YouTube.
That's unfortunate. I actually really enjoy listening to just the audio, but oh well. It's too bad.
I'm sorry. I
screwed up, man.
I'm letting you down left and right here.
You own up to it, though. I appreciate that.
Wally says, first of all, he wants me to put him over, and I will. Wally is the man. He's our number one Irish fan, King of Ireland, my man Wally. And he also says, before the end of 2018, I will see Johnny North live in action. Number one thing on his bucket list.
Wow, that's awesome.
And Antoinette says she's going with him. I'll be there too. All right, I'll go with you. I'll go with Wally and Antoinette. If you guys are going to make it out to a Johnny North wrestling show, let me know which one you're going to go out to. I mean, Wally's going to come all the way from Ireland. Antoinette, I think, is in Toronto. If they're going to come down and see you wrestle, I'll be there too. I'll go with them. All right? I'll go with you. Let me know.
Cool.
How about
That'd
that,
be
John?
awesome. That'll be awesome.
Wrestling Uncensored party cheering for Johnny North. How about that?
It'd be very rare.
If Johnny North loses, we riot.
Yeah, that might happen.
There might be a riot. Oh, Anthony says he's coming with Rihanna, but Anthony doesn't know who Rihanna is, and he obviously doesn't realize that Rihanna wouldn't go anywhere with him.
Okay. Well, he likes to dream, though. It's nice, though.
All right. What about your movie here? Was it who? So it was a document. I feel like I've seen this documentary before. Like
you have? When?
I don't know. Wasn't there something on TV or something about Mr. Rogers? I feel like I've seen a documentary about Mr. Rogers before.
There was a lot of controversy about him. I don't know if you remember the cop that's in it. He was black, and for its time to have someone black as a cop in the 70s, kind of controversial.
Was it?
Yeah. It was. He got a hard time for it, but he still did it anyways.
We should ask AJ about that. AJ, was it controversial to have a... or maybe we shouldn't ask him. Let's move on.
But he was also gay. And Mr. Rogers didn't want that to be shown because that was too much, that he was black, a cop, and he was actually gay.
In real life?
In real life, yeah.
Was he really a cop?
No.
So,
but he actually had a wife, though, because even he was trying to hide it. And Mr. Rogers promoted his marriage, which fell apart and was miserable afterwards.
What do you mean promoted his marriage?
On the show, that he was a married individual.
So he talked about the guy being married, but he also talked about him being a cop, right?
Right.
So that's not real life, though. You know what I mean?
But he mixed a little bit of it together, though. Like, he'd mix up the fact that there was a war going on. The Vietnam War was going on. And that was his first episode. He talked about how King Friday, Imagination Land, the puppets and all that. First episode, he built a wall to keep out everyone from Vietnam.
What?
Yeah. Kind of like Trump in a sense with the wall. Like, keep out all the people who were trying to immigrate to the States. Like, that was his first ever episode that he did.
Keeping out the Vietnamese?
Well, I think it was more just like foreigners, people that are trying to escape from there. But yeah.
Well, if you're trying to escape from Vietnam.
Yeah, but they didn't say Vietnam exactly, but that was going on at the time.
Take it easy. I'm part Vietnamese.
I'm just saying, this is his first episode, too. This is how he started. It was very controversial.
I just dropped some Dave Simon little known fact. I'm part Vietnamese.
I think Jeremy told me about that a long time ago.
You knew that.
I think Jeremy told me that.
My great-grandmother was Vietnamese.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Well, there you go.
The best part of the movie...
Antoinette and Wally have both commented on your sweet Bret Hart shirt that you're wearing?
That you gave me. Yeah.
I did. I think that was for your birthday last year,
It was,
right?
yeah. It was, yeah.
Your birthday's coming up.
It is, yeah.
July the...
10th.
10th.
Yeah. Greatest day in the world.
Oh, really?
Well, come on.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think the greatest day in the world is this Sunday, my first Father's Day, where everybody brings me presents. Can I get some stuff, John? You bring me anything?
I might on Sunday. Wait and see. Don't like to ruin surprise.
All right, then.
But anyways, it comes out today, Mr. Rogers movie. I'd check it out. It was probably the best movie I've seen so far this year.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, but your movie reviews are a little like I don't really take your word on movies because you love the 50 Shades movies. So I think your idea of what a good movie is a little skewed. And we disagree on a lot of the things.
Fine, you don't go see it, but everyone else goes see it.
Okay. And we're getting we're getting a lot of comments here on the YouTube. I'm trying to sift through it all. Wally wants to know if you heard him on Ringside Report Radio. Wally in Ireland around 5 a.m. his time called in last week on the show. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't get to hear that. No, unfortunately, no.
So you haven't seen New Japan Dominion, which was amazing, which you can hear me recap with the Green Phantom, the world-famous Green Phantom, on episode 3 of What's Fandom in Japan, available right now on our YouTube channel and at ringsidereport.net. You didn't see that.
No.
You didn't see Dominion. You didn't listen to me and Green Phantom. You didn't listen to any of the episodes of What's Fandom in Japan, episode 1, 2, or 3. You haven't listened to them. You don't care.
That's not true. I don't care.
I thought I'm your buddy. I thought Green Phantom was your buddy. I thought you really liked Green Phantom.
I do.
Apparently you don't like Green Phantom.
That's not true.
So you hear that, Green Phantom? Johnny North doesn't like you.
That's not true. You have to understand that...
And you didn't see 90 Day Fiancé. Wally has caught up. He's watched every episode of 90 Day Fiancé. He saw what happened this week with Russ and the family Chantel and the father Chantel and the river.
Okay, first off, Juan's a jerk, and he should have got punched in the face for what he did. He is a jerk.
Whoa,
I did watch 90 Day Fiancé, by the way.
Yes! Yes!
And that's what took up so much time, because, man, it's long. It's so long.
Big reveal. You watched 90 Day Fiancé?
I did watch it, yeah.
What did you watch?
Just that, like, the past week's episode. Like, Nicole's going to get married. She got the wedding gown and everything.
So you've never seen Azin, but you've seen Nicole.
Yeah. Azin doesn't sound like a good guy, though.
This is amazing. This is better than my 13 Reasons Why reveal.
I guess, sure. Like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah. You watched 90 Day Fiancé. So you watched the latest episode of 90 Day Fiancé, but you didn't watch Total Bellas. You were like, screw this.
I was so long, 90 Day Fiancé.
It's 2 hours.
It is. So long. It's not bad, though. It's probably better than Total Bellas overall, but it's a lot.
Okay, so you don't like Juan. Juan was a real jerk. There was a lot of Juan
There's
talk.
no reason for Juan to be a jerk, too. Like, you're just a friend. Too bad. Accept it.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's a jerk. Like...
And he's gay, so he's not even interested in her in that kind of way. I don't know why he's got to be such a jerk. I think he doesn't like Americans, fundamentally. I think he's just a Colombian dude who doesn't like Americans, and Russ is so American, and he's like, ugh, get this guy out of here. I can't believe you like this guy.
Well, because I don't completely understand how the show works. It's pretty much an American marries someone who's not from America. That's how the show works. And it's the problems that come off that.
Well, what you're watching is 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After.
Question
the
mark.
original show, question mark, yeah, Happily Ever After? The original show is 90 Day Fiancé, where the concept was it's Americans, they bring in somebody from another country that they've met and they've had some sort of relationship with, and they come in on this K-1 visa where you have 90 days to marry the person. Like, you're allowed to be in the country for 90 days.
Right.
And then when, like... you have to be married before the 90 days is up.
Okay.
So it's just following that story of like, okay, here's this person, they arrive from the airport from whatever country, and let's see if they get married. And it was really boring when the show first started because they always got married. The show was like, are they going to get married? Are they not going to get married? And then they all got married. So I was like, I don't know. Like the first couple seasons of 90 Day Fiancé, I was like not really feeling it because in the end, the payoff wasn't that good.
Right.
But over the past few years, they've been doing Happily Ever After, where you see these couples after they get married. And that's really the fun. Like Danielle and Mohammed, who you don't know about.
No.
But they were a crazy story. And the real fun with Danielle and Mohammed was afterwards. Because at the end of their season, they got married. And you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, are they going to stay together? How's that going to work? And then Happily Ever After, you saw how that worked, and it didn't work, and it was really crazy. So the Happily Ever After, which is weird because Nicole, she's just on, like, her story is different than the other ones. Like, Russ and Pow have been married for a while. Nicole
Okay.
is trying to get the K1 visa, so now it's all kind of mixed into one show.
Okay.
But it used to be like 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After was just the couples after they had been married.
Now it's mixed.
Now it's like mixed all into one show because whatever.
That Pedro Chantel relationship, that just seems like it's doomed. I don't really trust Pedro. It's not really his fault. Chantel's parents aren't really great to have around, but I just don't trust Pedro.
You don't trust Pedro?
No, I don't trust Pedro.
See, I do trust Pedro. I like Pedro.
He gets too angry too easily. There's something up to that.
No, they're terrible. What they did to his family in the Dominican was very rude. They drove all this way to his grandmother's place. She had made
Right.
the family this whole big meal, and they were scared to get out of the van, and they refused to get out of the van, and they drove back to the hotel. They ruined the whole thing. They were very, very rude.
Yeah, I understand that.
They were terrible. The family Chantel, it's their fault. It's not the Pedro's fault. He has right to be angry at the Thomas and the mother Chantel and the River. The River's a real jerk. The River's been a real jerk the whole time. I cannot stand the River.
Now his sister's coming. Like, it just seems like it's going to get worse.
It is going to get worse. That sister is a real, she's funny. She's a firecracker.
I think the worst one has to be David and Annie, I think. That's horrible. What the heck is that?
What do you mean? His son got shot in the face. That's a starter. Annie, 25 years old from Thailand. David, 49 from Arkansas. Where is he?
Something like that.
Yeah, bizarre. Yeah, David's a weird one. Davey no work.
Well, that's it too. He doesn't have a.
Davey no work.
What's the appeal of this guy? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't know. I think she thought that like moving to the States was like a big deal and he'd have money and it would be cool, but it's not that cool.
No, he has no job and he has kids already, like of his own.
Yeah. I don't know. I think. Well, she's starting to say, she's like, if this is not working, I'm just gonna go back to Thailand. Like, this sucks, man.
Well, Luis and Molly, that's pretty bad too, though. That's done. It feels like after that episode.
Yeah, Molly and Luis, I thought they were done last season, and now he just came back for some reason because they were already married, and I think he ran out of money, and Molly was like, "Okay, let's make it work," but it's not gonna work.
Nah, he's too lazy. Just doesn't want to do anything.
Wally says he likes Pedro too. He says, "Send the TV, Pedro." I agree. Send that TV to your mother, Pedro. Although he tried to do it, and the shipping costs were ridiculous. The shipping cost more than the TV. I didn't understand that whole thing. And they wound up spending like $50 on a box they didn't use. It was ridiculous because they packaged the whole thing.
Did Anthony just write like a really long message?
Yeah. That's ridiculous. Anthony is watching. He says he'll be back at 10. Cop just pulled him over for riding his bike. Apparently you can't watch a wrestling show on YouTube. Well, really a 90 Day Fiancé recap show. This is ceased to be a wrestling show. Yeah. But he says you can't watch a wrestling show on YouTube and pedal and bike in the streets of Montreal. So Anthony got pulled over for watching us while biking. That doesn't seem safe, though, Anthony.
It's pretty bad.
We do not recommend that you do that. Do not bike and watch our show. You can bike and listen to the show, though. That's fine, I think. Everybody's laughing at Anthony on the chat. Chat's very active. It's hard for me to keep up with everything you guys are saying on the chat because it's like there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. A lot of comments are just kind of flooding. So if I miss something, pardon me.
Fair to say Russ and Paolo, they're definitely my favorite couple, without question.
Russ and Pao, yeah?
Yeah.
You call her Paolo?
Yeah, I did. Is it not Paolo?
Paula. Paolo is a dude's name.
Paula?
Paula,
okay.
like Paula, but Paula.
Okay.
How is that hard for you to... Why is that...
I've never heard of it before.
All right.
What?
No, fine. So you like them?
Yeah, well, I think Russ is just like, he seems like he's a really good guy. Just puts up with a lot of garbage.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think he's kind of a weird little guy. I don't think I have a favorite couple. I think I like Molly and Luis the best. I don't like them together, but I like them both as individuals. I like how Luis is like, baby, I don't want to take care of your kids. I think it's great. I think it's really funny because he's just so honest about it. He's like, it doesn't work for me. Have your mom do it. I like this. I like this. I think he's funny, man. Luis is hilarious, too, because you notice Pedro, he's from the Dominican, and he's got to send all this money back to his family. And he's like, it's my culture, baby. It's my culture, right? He's got to send all this stuff back to the Dominican. Luis, also from the Dominican, seems to have no cultural burden to send money back to his family. He has no money. He's like just living off Molly. Right. It's I don't understand how Pedro is like, it's my culture, and Luis is like, whatever. I'm not taking care of your kids. Every time you see Luis, he's just kind of lying there. He's just chilling. Every time you see Luis, he's lying down somewhere. It's like he never does anything but just relax. It's fantastic. I think he's great. And I like Molly, too. She's funny. But, you know, together they obviously don't work. They might not be great people. Molly's had several DUIs. Several. Antoinette wants to know, all right, are we done with 90 Day Fiancé? Are you going to keep watching?
We'll see. We'll see next week, you know.
What about Anfisa and George?
Anfisa and George.
Have you not seen
them?
Yeah,
yeah, the Russian, yeah.
Yeah.
You mean Fat Donnie Darko. That's pretty much what George is. But okay.
I don't get it.
Well, you don't.
You think he looks like a fat Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah, without question. He just seems like a horrible human being because he's not truthful to her whatsoever.
No. She expected a millionaire. She was going to come and be super rich, and he doesn't have millions of dollars.
I don't even know.
Big liar, that George. Big liar.
I don't think he really even likes her. I think he likes having sex with her, but I think that's about it.
Yeah. I don't think they really have much in common. I think she's really trying to make it work. I think she kind of likes him. Kind of. But is also, like, alone in the States and, you know, is trying to make that work. And she needs him to make it work. And he's just, like, wants to have sex with her, and that's it. Yeah, he's
much.
not. He doesn't seem like a very nice guy. I'm not a fan of George. At first, I was like, "Oh, Anfisa seems really mean. She seems only in it for the money. George seems to really like her." And then it was like, "Yeah, no, Anfisa's in it for the money, but she's been upfront about it the whole time. George is just a jerk and a liar."
And I don't think he really cares. Like, they asked him what he learned in therapy, and he's like, "Well, you know, we did stuff, and I don't really know exactly what we did."
Yeah, no, he was...
doesn't care.
No. He wasn't very cool. Not very cool. Antoinette wants to know if you won your match last weekend?
I did win my match last week.
Yeah, all right. So
my second ever win over Jeremy Prophet. It was amazing.
What?
I know
you
that.
Beat Jeremy?
Beat him clean, too. It was amazing.
That's crazy.
I know. It's shocking, isn't it?
I'm shocked. I'm legit shocked. How did that happen?
Just the promoter came up to me, said that, you know, you're going over. Doesn't really matter how exactly. And Jeremy was cool with it. Jeremy asked me, like, what do you want to do for the finish? And my idea was we do a bunch of false finishes back and forth. And in the end, I would just get a counter and get the win. So pretty much... Instead of just doing the pins, because we already did the pins, I think midway through the match, the back-and-forth pins, I thought he hit me with a spin kick, went up for a frog splash, I got the knees up, and just quick pin right from there. People were shocked, so I think it worked.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a big win. Where was this?
This was in Windsor.
Windsor?
Quebec.
I didn't even know there was a Windsor, Quebec.
There is a Windsor, Quebec, yeah.
Where's that?
Well, I think like near like Drummondville, around that area.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And why did the promoter decide you were going over?
Well, traditionally, these shows I usually lose to Jeremy. So, this was the tribute show to his dad, and he wanted to do something a little bit different.
And you've wrestled Jeremy, like, tons of times, right?
I think we're getting close to like 50. I think, yeah.
So you're like 2-48 against him.
Yeah.
So this was your second win. That's a big deal. The tide is turning.
I guess you could look at it like that. I've had 2 wins in the past like 4 years against them.
It's your time now. I think Jeremy's about to go on a losing streak.
Highly doubtful.
I don't know about that. My man, the Green Phantom, I think, is about to wrestle him, and if it's his comeback match, he's going to smash him to bits.
I don't think it's his comeback match.
He told me it was his comeback match.
Okay, well, things change, obviously.
What are you talking about?
I was told Jeremy's going on for a championship, so I don't believe Green Phantom's a champion right now, is he not?
So Phantom is not wrestling Jeremy.
Unless things have changed?
Phantom was thinking that he might wrestle Jeremy when he wasn't sure because Jeremy attacked him at some point recently.
Okay. I think they will wrestle eventually, but...
Well, when they do, Phantom's he's gonna get him.
Well, probably. Phantom usually always wins, so yeah.
As he should.
You know, the good guys, they don't always have to win all the time. It's funner to do the chase, I think. Though I was the bad guy and I won, so...
Yeah. Really? You were the... Yeah, that makes sense.
I was the heel, yeah.
Movie review. You didn't watch Dominion. You didn't listen to the Green Phantom show. But you did watch 90 Day Fiancé. So, not bad. Not bad.
Thanks. 2 hours of my life, you know. I'm sorry I only dedicated that much. Plus all the wrestling I watched this week.
Did you see CM Punk's fight?
No.
You heard about it, though.
I watched your show. You guys talked about it.
Did you see what Corey Graves... So you watched that show?
I watched that, and you guys were talking about what Corey Graves said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on what Corey Graves said? Bad timing. Like, if you're going to say that stuff, don't say it then. Say it at another time. Why are you going to say it? Why are you going to kick a man when he's down like that?
I feel Ronda Rousey's husband did the same thing. Like, when the guy who insulted him lost, like, he immediately wrote something back to him. You know, guys do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, but those two can fight. Corey Graves is never going to fight CM Punk.
Didn't he agree to it? I heard somewhere he agreed that he'd fight Punk anywhere or something. Like, of course, you know, these are big words coming on Twitter. Everyone's big on Twitter.
Yeah. Real tough on Twitter there, Corey Graves. Ridiculous. I thought that was a real classless move. No respect for Corey Graves. I didn't like him that much before, but now I really actively dislike him. You know? Like, before I was like, he's trying to do his thing, you know? And then he does that, and it's like, man, it's a dick move. Maybe Punk was terrible to Corey Graves. Maybe he did do all those things to him. But for Graves to go out and bury Punk on Twitter right after he loses a fight,
right?
I mean, it's just the wrong time to do it.
Well, it shows you the kind of person that Corey Graves is.
Yeah. He's a dick.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So
I'm more interested in the conversation you and Fred had. It's too bad Fred's not going to be on the air tonight. Because you guys were kind of talking about this, like Michael Jackson, like, should he be in the UFC or not? And Fred's like, you know, it's not his fault. Like, it's not easy to finish a fight. He brought up GSP and everything, and you were just like, I don't want to see a moonwalk anymore. So I was looking forward to you guys talking about it.
I don't think there's really much there. The guy doesn't belong in the UFC. I think Fred and I agree about that. The guy is not top level. If he fought anybody in the UFC other than CM Punk, he would get smashed. Even he knows. Even he admitted before the fight he wasn't UFC level.
So you think Bellator's in their future?
No. I hope not. I think Punk should stop fighting MMA. That was sad. He didn't look good at all. He did not look good. He looked better than he did the first time, but that's not saying much. So I think he should stop. It's not good for him to do that. It's going to take a lot of punishment that is just unnecessary. I mean, you want to train MMA, whatever, but at this point, like, it's crazy.
I think if they're going to give him an opportunity, he's going to do it.
I think that would be the wrong move. I think he should go back to pro wrestling. Should go to New Japan.
Well, I think
Would you start watching New Japan if CM Punk was there? I mean, what's it going to take for you to start watching New Japan Pro Wrestling? It is the best pro wrestling in the world. It's the hottest wrestling product. It's the most exciting times in a wrestling company that I've seen since the Attitude Era. I am more excited about pro wrestling and what one company is doing now more than I have been in like 20 years. You got to see the Jericho match. Wally's saying the Jericho match, well worth a look.
I'll check it out. Everything in due time. Again, it's a lot to watch this past week.
Y2J. Got this here out of respect for Chris Jericho as the backdrop.
I did see his new look, though. His new look looks amazing. Fantastic.
Looks awesome. Clockwork Jericho. Swearico.
Yeah, Swearico's a good word, yeah.
Great match. And he becomes Intercontinental Champion for New Japan Pro Wrestling. The only man to hold the Intercontinental Championship in the WWE and New Japan.
It's very impressive.
Shinsuke Nakamura, I'm looking at you.
Well, he's on the wrong brand for that. But
that's right. Did Chris Jericho, he held a U.S. title, right?
Yeah, beat Kevin.
You know that there's another man to hold the U.S. Championship in the WWE and the IWGP Intercontinental Championship? Do you know who that man is?
Was it Benoit?
No. The IWGP Intercontinental title was introduced in 2011, and the first ever winner of that title, Montel Vontavious Porter.
Wow. Insane. I would never guess that.
Yeah, me neither. I was looking up the history because I was trying to figure out, like, Jericho says he's the only guy to hold the WWE and IWGP Intercontinental titles, and I was like, is that true? And who else could possibly do it? And Nakamura, of course, was the IWGP champion, and he's in WWE now, so it's possible. But I think that's it.
Well, Brock's won all the heavyweight championships.
Yeah. Yeah. So's Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle was never Universal Champion.
That's true. But I think he was IWGP Heavyweight Champion.
I think he beat Brock, yeah.
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 And he was TNA Champion.
Yeah, okay.
X Division Champion.
He was all the champions at one point.
Yeah, Tag Team Champion. And Olympic gold medalist. So.
Oh, I'm not going to say Kurt wasn't great.
Kurt's got a lot of accolades. So does Brock, though.
And he beat the record this past week, like you said. And they acknowledged it. It's huge.
They kind of acknowledged it. Did they say it on Raw?
They promoted Paul Heyman's tweet about it.
Right. Brock breaking a record. Wally asks, who on 90 Day Fiancé would make the best tag team?
We're talking about, like, mixed tag, or?
I have no idea. I can't even answer that question. Jenny says, sorry, Wally, I'm not going there. I don't know. Jenny, what's your take? Jenny says, what's your take with all the WWE Kenny Omega posts recently? Just E3 promotion, or is there more to it? I don't know. I am not sure. But the New Day took on the Elite at E3 playing Street Fighter. And I watched the whole thing. It was on the Up, Up, Down, Down YouTube channel. It was an hour and a half. And I'm not usually a guy who watches people play video games. Like, that's a big thing, you know? I'm sounding like an old person now. I'm like, I don't really watch the kids who play the video games because, like, that's what everybody does now. Everybody under a certain age, but I'm, like, over that age, so I'm, like, an old guy now. You know, you are too, because you don't watch people play video games.
I watch
like,
people beat games.
Do you watch people play like Twitch and stuff?
I watch them like speedrun. I watch those.
Do you watch Twitch? Are you on Twitch at all?
Not those ones. No.
I'm not on Twitch either, so I'm like a little bit slow on this stuff, you know. But I watched the New Day against the Elite because you know those guys are awesome. I had to see it, and it was fun to watch. I enjoyed it. Like I was really into the Street Fighter matches. It got really intense. They had to eat a habanero pepper if they lost.
Oh, that's no fun. I've done that before.
You have?
Yeah. Just burns your whole mouth.
Woods ate two. He looked like he was about to die.
I bet.
And Kenny Omega ate one just to show that he was a bad man. It was a pretty cool video. The New Day beat the Elite in like their little opening tournament thing, but then Woods and Omega had a 1-on-1 first to 5 battle, and that was the real battle. And that was for the habanero pepper eating, and that was pretty intense. And they were cutting promos on each other. Cool. It was really fun. Like, it was really fun to watch because you're never going to see Kenny Omega and the Elite, and the Young Bucks cutting promos against the New Day. Like, that's never going to happen unless it does. Golden Elite, change the world. Change the world. And, again, they're doing something that changes the world. When is the last time you've seen anything like this in professional wrestling? When a big group from New Japan Pro Wrestling, a big group from the WWE, does a show together on YouTube that's promoted by the WWE.
Right.
Somehow the WWE was like, yeah, let's promote this thing. And, like, it's just crazy to see what they're doing. You've never seen competition between wrestlers, televised or otherwise, from two different wrestling companies. Any kind of competition. Okay, it's video games, but still, it's two groups of wrestlers, two big factions in professional wrestling from, you would think, competing wrestling companies doing a show, a YouTube stream, playing video games against each other. I mean, that is unprecedented. Change the world.
It's very rare. It's amazing that we're seeing this, but I think it also goes to show that they don't really see this as their competition. This isn't like WCW. Because, like, you would never see, like, Triple H, The Rock, and Austin versus, like, Hogan, Sting, and Macho Man in any kind of competition. It would have never happened.
No, that's why this is so cool, because it's a new day. Yes, it is. It's a different time.
Yeah, but it's not, again, it's not competition. It's not the same kind of feel.
I had to readjust there. But it is competition. They're playing video games against each other.
Friendly. That's it.
Didn't seem that friendly. It seemed quite intense. Omega was intense.
If AJ's not there, it's not too bad. It's not smashing controllers.
I thought it was just awesome to see. They talked about doing a match against each other. Like, that was the next step.
Okay.
It's just very cool.
Oh, I'm sure they're open to it. I'm sure WWE would love to have the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, but do they want to go there?
They don't want to do it by going to the WWE.
So it's not going to happen.
Well, the WWE is promoting them. They're talking about Kenny Omega. They're talking about the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, beating Okada last weekend in one of, if not the greatest match of all time.
It says a lot to say that, all time. That's rough.
Phantom and I deemed it, at the very least, the greatest Iron Man 2 out of 3 falls match of all time. Like, the greatest, like, Iron Man type match. Better than Brett and Shawn. Better than anything.
It must be really good then to say that.
You should watch it. I can't believe you haven't seen it.
Eventually. There's a lot to watch this week.
But I don't think there's more to Kenny Omega and the New Day than just video games. I think it's just for E3. It's just for up, up, down, down. I don't think it's going to lead to a match. I don't think the WWE would allow the New Day to wrestle the Elite on a non-WWE show.
Right.
So as long as the New Day's under contract to WWE, it's not happening. And as long as Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks don't go to the WWE, it's not happening. Unfortunately. But that's just the way it is. Unless something drastic changes. And, you know, you look at the WWE right now, it is terrible. It's awful. I hate watching Raw every week. I hate it. Like, I can't, I can barely stand it.
I thought Raw was okay this week.
I mean, it's so, like, I'm done with the WWE. It's so bad. And New Japan is so good. It's like, you see the WWE and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to sit through this. And then you watch New Japan, you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Every match just keeps getting better and better. Jericho Naito, there's no way Omega and Okada can top this. And then they do. And Jericho Naito was incredible. Ospreay and Hiromu was insane. The Young Bucks against Evil and Sonata for the tag titles, incredible match. Jushin Thunder Liger, Rey Mysterio, and Tanahashi versus Hangman Page, Cody Rhodes, and Marty Scurll. Unbelievable. Dominion was so good. And then what do we have this weekend? Money in the Bank. Please. The WWE is so far behind New Japan Pro Wrestling at this point in time, it's laughable. You watch New Japan, and then you compare it to the WWE, it's like, oh, what are you watching here? It's hard to watch the WWE after watching New Japan. You have compelling characters, complex storylines, amazing athleticism. The matches are the highest of quality. And then you go to the WWE and you watch Jinder Mahal. Who did he team up with this week? What was the tag team match?
It wasn't a tag match.
No, what was it?
Roman just wrestled one of the Singh brothers.
Oh, yeah. Even better. You have Roman Reigns against Sunil Singh. It's just like, really? This is the best you got? This is the best you can offer WWE? It's sad.
That wasn't the best, but the main event was pretty good this week on Raw.
It was all right.
The four-way to start was really good, too. The women's match, better than it was on SmackDown. There was actually a lot of good this week. I'm actually very excited for the pay-per-view. I can't wait, actually, for Money in the Bank. I think it's going to be one of the best pay-per-views of the year.
I hope so. I don't have high expectations. Let's get to it, shall we?
Oh, we got to cut you off.
Cutting YouTube off. The pre-show is over. Pre-show's over?
Done. Fini. Delete.
We're deleting the pre-show. Well, we're not deleting it. It'll be posted on YouTube. You can watch it forever. But we're ending it. Any last questions? No? We're good? We're good?
People are saying goodbye or don't go.
People saying bye. People saying delete.
Good.
All right, good. So we'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Wrestling Uncensored, of course. RingsideReport.net. And so on. I'll be back for Ringside Report Radio tonight. For you watching live, Ringside Report tonight. Wally's off to see Taylor Swift. Terrible. Why are you going to see Taylor Swift when Beyonce had one of the greatest videos of all time? You know what I'm saying?
To each their own, you know.
Taylor Swift. I'm no Taylor Swift fan. Oh, free tickets. I don't know. And Antoinette is telling AJ to bring cannoli Sunday for me. I agree. Although AJ said he was going to be back in 10 minutes, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, they may have taken him downtown, perhaps. Who knows?
I think AJ's been arrested. So we'll see if AJ has been arrested or not, because we haven't heard from him since he got pulled over by the cops on his bike. So AJ may be in jail right now. Hopefully he's not, and he'll be on Ringside Report Radio tonight. If not, I'll be solo, and that'll be all right, I guess. I hope AJ's not in jail. Boom. Boom, I said.
Hello, this is Mick Foley, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and you are listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
What's going on, y'all? This is WWE superstar Kofi Kingston, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Aw, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website where you can find out all the latest on Ringside Report Radio and Wrestling Uncensored and the brand new monthly show about New Japan Pro Wrestling. A new show dropped this week, What's Phantom in Japan? Myself and the Green Phantom. Yes, that Green Phantom, your hardcore hero. We talk about New Japan professional wrestling every single week. Online only. Check it out at WrestlingUncensored.net. What's Phantom in Japan? the New Japan Pro Wrestling podcast. Johnny North and I just got done the world-famous Wrestling Uncensored pre-show that we do live on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport, DOTNET. Johnny North talked about his latest wrestling match where he picked up a huge victory. We also discussed 90 Day Fiancé, which I'm a big fan of, and Johnny North has started watching as well. So check out our pre-show. It was a little bit crazy, as it always is, over at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net or wrestlinguncensored.net. The subject at hand here is WWE Money in the Bank, or as the great Matt Hardy once called it, Money at the Bank. I prefer Money at the Bank, because that's where the money is. It's at the bank.
And they made that official, too. Matt Hardy and Bray against the B Team.
Oh, boy. So Money in the Bank is coming up on Sunday. Johnny North, on the pre-show, you said you were excited about this thing. I am not overly excited for Money in the Bank because I fear the results, and I'm a little bit tired of what the WWE has been doing lately. I don't think that their TV shows have been particularly good. I don't think that their pay-per-views have really delivered. The last pay-per-view that they did was way back, it feels like forever ago, May 6th, when they gave us Backlash. And I thought Backlash was a huge disappointment. And we have Money in the Bank now, and I'm not that excited about this card. Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and one of the members of the New Day for the Money in the Bank contract, the Money in the Bank ladder match. The winner of the match gets a contract with the briefcase where they can cash in on the champion of their brand whenever they see fit. So it's a title shot whenever you want. You can interrupt the guy in the middle of a match, after a match, whatever. Wherever he is, if he's in the ring or near a ring, it's a title match, right? So I mentioned the participants here, and we've talked about it on the show over the past few weeks. We are both firmly in the belief that The Miz will wind up winning this thing. And I'm really having trouble getting excited for a match where I assume the worst will happen. Because if you look at this match, it really couldn't get any worse than The Miz winning. I think that anybody in this match, except for maybe Bobby Roode, would be better than The Miz winning. If Braun Strowman won Money in the Bank, Finn Balor, Rusev, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, somebody from the New Day, Kofi Kingston, I would be very happy. I'd be more happy if it were New Day, Kevin Owens, or Joe, or Finn. I'd be slightly less happy with Rusev or Strowman, not really happy at all with Miz or Bobby Roode. But I feel like The Miz is the guy that they have featured the most on TV in a role where it seems like he's above everybody else on SmackDown that's competing in this Money in the Bank. It seems like he's the star. Miz is always a guy that they saddle with a gimmick. He has a crew. He has a Damian Sandow. He has a Maurice. He has an Miz Taraj. He has Alex Riley, right? I mean, how many gimmicks have they thrown at this guy? And, of course, when he had Alex Riley, he had the Money in the Bank briefcase as well. So to enhance the Miz, to make Miz somebody that is useful to have on TV, they give him a title or a manager or something to make him larger than he is. They make him a star by giving him this extra stuff. And Money in the Bank is the perfect extra gimmick to give the Miz, to put him in the position that they want him in, which is an elevated position. They like him kind of at the top of the card, the upper mid-card, to kind of lower main event type level. And that's what this Money in the Bank is kind of designed for. It feels going into it that it's designed for The Miz to win. And we talked about it on the show. The past few years of Money in the Bank, we really haven't had winners that you can get excited about. The Money in the Bank ladder match was won last year by
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin. Right? I mean, I think we went back in history, and the last guy to win Money in the Bank that you could really get behind was Daniel Bryan in, 2011.
I didn't mind when Sheamus won.
Oh, man, that was not the right move. When Sheamus won, it was completely pointless. He had a short title reign. He was just a pawn. And when was that even? That was a long time ago.
2015, I think.
2015. But that wasn't really that great. You can't really get excited about that Sheamus win. No one was excited about that Sheamus win. Corbin won last year. The year before that, it was Dean Ambrose. The year before that, it was Sheamus. I guess Seth Rollins won one. Did he win one? Or
Yeah, Seth Rollins won one, yeah.
Damian Sandow, Randy Orton, Dolph Ziggler, John Cena. The last one you could really get behind was Daniel Bryan in 2011. And that's a long time ago. That's the last Money in the Bank winner where I was like, yes, this is awesome. They put it on a guy that really deserves it. They've elevated a guy. Here we go. It's Daniel Bryan time. But, Baron Corbin, what's really happened to Corbin? And Corbin is a perfect example of a guy like The Miz. He's a guy that the WWE has hopes for. But their hopes don't match the talent. So they throw gimmicks at him. Baron Corbin, you're going to win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Nothing happens. Baron Corbin, you're going to win Money in the Bank. Doesn't win the title because they're like, oh, this is not working. Baron Corbin, you're going to be Kurt Angle's Constable, the Constable of Raw, Constable Corbin. It's very Miz-like, the Baron Corbin push. And that's what they do with guys like The Miz, like Baron Corbin. They want to do something with them, but the guys don't really have what it takes to be good. AJ Styles has been given no gimmicks. He's the champion, but he's only the champion because he's so far and above everybody. He's so obviously the best that, you have to make him champion. It's stupid if he's not champion. But they really have given him nothing. They haven't given him many gimmicks. Kevin Owens hasn't been given many gimmicks. These guys get by on their talent alone. But guys like Corbin, guys like The Miz, WWE gives them these extras because they can't get by on their talent alone. How about, instead of giving guys that aren't good rewards, you reward the talented guys and you use these Money in the Banks or, Andre the Giant Battle Royals as a way to show the fans these guys are good, that's why they're winning. These guys are good at pro wrestling, that's why they're winning these things. Because we promote guys that are good at this. That's how it works in Japan. In Japan, you don't win things because they're trying to push you. You win things because you've earned them. Zack Sabre Jr. didn't win the New Japan Cup because they're trying to push Zack Sabre Jr. and they thought this would be a good way to do it. They did, but also because he's good, he's talented, and he deserved it. Guys in WWE don't earn things based on their talent. They get things because they're trying to push them. And I feel like that's what's going to happen here tomorrow night at Money in the Bank. The WWE's trying to push The Miz. It doesn't really work unless you give him a reason for being. And his reason over the next couple of months is going to be, oh, I'm going to cash in on you, AJ Styles. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm scared. Oh, I'm going to cash in on you, AJ Styles. Oh, no, wait, not now. Oh, am I? No, am I? Awesome! And that's going to be the gimmick over the next few months. I just gave it to you in a nutshell. Enjoy. Enjoy that. And that's why I'm not excited about Money in the Bank. Because I'm not trying to see a halfway, a mediocre guy at the top of the card. I don't need to see The Miz elevated. I'd like to see the New Day elevated. And yeah, the possibility is there. The possibility is there for Kevin Owens to win. Sure. It's pretty unlikely. It's pretty unlikely anybody from Raw is going to win. Because speaking of undeserving, Brock Lesnar's not showing up. Brock Lesnar's the Universal Champion. He is the longest reigning heavyweight champion in the WWE since Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Broke CM Punk's record this week. Wasn't on Raw to celebrate it, of course, because he's never on Raw. Now there's a rumor that he's not even booked for SummerSlam, so maybe we don't see Brock until, who knows, November for Survivor Series if we're lucky. Maybe we don't see Brock till WrestleMania. Maybe we don't see the title defended until then. Who knows at this point when Brock Lesnar will grace us with his aging, slowing down presence. Come on. So nobody on Raw is going to win Money in the Bank because they have nobody to cash it in on. Braun Strowman is the only guy who's like, I'm going to win Money in the Bank and I'm going to cash in on Brock Lesnar. He's the only guy who says that stuff. Nobody else is even uttering Brock's name. Strowman's doing it. I'm not sure why. But I don't think he's going to win Money in the Bank. It'd be cool if he did, and he did cash in on Brock Lesnar. I'd be happy with that. I'd be happy with Finn Balor, who's on Raw, winning Money in the Bank and saying, Brock Lesnar, I'm challenging you, I'd be happy with Kevin Owens on Raw saying, Brock Lesnar, let's go. I never got my Universal title rematch. I want it against you. Bring it. It'd be cool if Samoa Joe won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Joe's on SmackDown. He could tease a cash in against his old rival, AJ Styles. That would be cool. It would be cool if the New Day won Money in the Bank. You could elevate the New Day because, hey, they actually deserve it. They deserve to be elevated. They're talented. They're actually talented beyond their push. They're not, the opposite, like The Miz, push beyond their talent. It would be great if New Day won and then they tease the cash in on AJ or Shinsuke Nakamura, whoever winds up winning that match. Bobby Roode, I don't care. What brand is he on? Raw, right? Yeah. Bobby Roode and Brock Lesnar's not happening. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Rusev, maybe, but probably not. And there you have it. I mean, I think Miz is going to win, and it's going to be terrible. I'd like Owens to win. I'd like Joe to win, New Day. I think New Day would be the win that would make me the happiest. If they said, okay, pick who wins, I'd say New Day. Because it makes the most sense. They need to be elevated. They're beyond the tag team division. The New Day just faced the IWGP champion and the IWGP tag team champions. The Elite. I mean, it was in video games, but still. The New Day is bigger than all of this stuff. One of these guys should be WWE champion. It's really about time. And it should be Kofi Kingston. I mean, who are we kidding? Kofi Kingston's been U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion, tag team champion. It's time to make this guy WWE World Champion. He's been in the company for over 10 years. He's a future Hall of Famer. The New Day is one of the greatest tag teams of all time. I'm not going to say the greatest, but they're one of the greatest of all time. They're a gimmick that has been over for years now. It's time to elevate them past the tag team division. They're bigger than this. And it's time for Kofi Kingston to become WWE champion.
I feel Big E would be the guy if they're going to make one of them WWE champion Big E would be the person, because it feels like he's the guy they put in the singles matches right away first. He's the one who faced The Miz first. And he's been getting the pins as of late, if I'm not mistaken. Though this suits Kofi more, his kind of match, a ladder match. So Kofi would make a lot of sense. But because of both those logics, it might just be Xavier to throw it off.
In the ladder match or as WWE champion?
In Money in the Bank. And then if you want to say he goes all the way, yeah, it would really throw it off.
Yeah, but do you think that's going to happen?
Of course not. But after this week on SmackDown, I believe Samoa Joe's chances increased because he lost for the first time on SmackDown this week to Rusev, and it was because of The Miz. And given WWE's 50-50 booking, you take a loss, you usually get some sort of win back. Joe's win back might be Money in the Bank.
Maybe. It would be cool. I'd be happier with that.
I believe in Joe a lot more than I did before, that's for sure.
I'm hoping for that. But I feel like it's still going to be The Miz.
Oh, betting odds, I would bet on The Miz first, but I think there's a stronger chance for Samoa Joe after this week.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's possible that Joe were to win. And if somebody else is going to win other than The Miz, I think it's going to be Joe. Like, if I had to pick a second best bet, it would be Samoa Joe.
And just for that reason alone, I'm excited for the match because this might be really good. I think it's going to be an exciting match to watch, period, but I think the finish, there's a good chance you'll be satisfied in the end.
I think the match could be good, but a lot of these guys have styles that don't really lend themselves to a match like this. You know? Braun Strowman, Rusev, Miz, Bobby Roode. What can these guys really do in a ladder match? I know Finn and Owens and Joe and the New Day will be able to do some cool stuff, but the other half of this match, I'm not too sure. Like, 4 of them can hang, and the other 4, I'm not sure.
I think you got a good mix. I think you got someone like Bryan who will just go in and throw stuff at people. That'll be fun, him just running, plowing through people, and they'll probably bury him under a bunch of ladders. That stuff will be fun, and you have guys who can jump off ladders, too.
But I think you and I can agree that match quality-wise, it would be better if you cut off those 4 other guys. Like, if this match was Joe, Owens, Finn, and, say, Kofi Kingston in a 4-way ladder match, it'd be far better than what we're going to see on Sunday night.
Well, you know how these matches work, pretty much, where most of the guys are on the outside anyways, and it's just 2 or 3 guys in the ring anyways.
Yeah, and when those 2 or 3 guys are Bobby Roode, Rusev, and The Miz, how fun is that going to be?
That'll be the down point of the match, but you just came from probably a high spot where Finn and Kevin did something crazy off a ladder. So
you would hope.
I think that's what's going to happen. After what happened on Raw this week, I was really impressed with that main event.
You like the main event of Raw?
I thought it was awesome. Finally, they delivered a main event where I'm like, yeah, that was great. That was fun to watch.
Braun Strowman beat Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, and Bobby Roode in a fatal 4-way. Strowman got the pin on Owens after hitting his power slam on a ladder. I thought it was a good match.
Kevin doing that frog splash off the stage onto the table, onto Strowman, that was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a cool spot where they were all teaming up 3-on-1 on Braun Strowman. Big frog splash from Kevin Owens. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
I mean, we criticize the writing, but can't criticize the effort. The effort was definitely there this week on Raw.
Yeah. Well, when you have Kevin Owens and Finn Balor in a match, you know, it's a good starting point.
I have high hopes for Money in the Bank. I think there's still a lot of potential there. I mean, this isn't about the storytelling anymore, because storytelling's done. It's over. A lot of it was garbage. But I think the match, there's a strong possibility you have great talent that can deliver.
There is great talent in the match. It could be a very good match. I'm hoping for the best. I really am. But it's going to be hard to beat New Japan's pay-per-view from last weekend. Dominion was so good.
Maybe so, but the Money in the Bank ladder matches are usually the most exciting matches you usually see in WWE. If not all year, at least in the early part of the year.
What do you think about the women's Money in the Bank ladder match? Ember Moon, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Natalya, Lana, Naomi, and Sasha Banks. That's an interesting one. I think this one is a lot harder to predict. This week on Raw, we saw some Natalya. We saw actually all 4 participants of this Money in the Bank ladder match in a fatal 4-way. Well, all 4 from Raw, right? Natalya beating Alexa Bliss, Sasha, and Ember Moon. Natty getting Alexa to tap to the sharpshooter. I thought the match was pretty good.
It was long, too.
It was quite long.
2 commercial breaks, I think.
Yeah.
It's very rare you see that, but it was exciting back and forth. Ember Moon, by the way, wow. Really impressive. Her dives to the outside are amazing.
She's very good.
Speed, too.
Yeah.
Speed's amazing.
And then on SmackDown, it was Asuka, Charlotte, Naomi, Becky, and Lana teaming up to take on Carmella, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. Asuka getting Carmella to tap to the Asuka lock. Maybe not good that Asuka tapped Carmella here going into their match at Money in the Bank. Asuka beating Carmella, making her tap out in the middle of the ring when they're going to wrestle again on Sunday for the title. Are they really going to give Asuka 2 clean wins in a row over Carmella? I've seen rumors that James Ellsworth may be headed to Money in the Bank. He may be booked. And, of course, James Ellsworth helping Carmella win the first ever women's Money in the Bank ladder match last year, which led to Carmella cashing in her Money in the Bank on Charlotte and becoming champion. So maybe Ellsworth, 1 year later, will return and help Carmella retain the title against Asuka here, because I feel like Carmella is going to somehow walk out of Money in the Bank with the title, but she's not going to beat Asuka clean. Bringing in Ellsworth would be a good way to do it.
Yeah, I feel a DQ or count-out kind of finish.
Distraction even, with Ellsworth showing up and doing something.
It's funny, I was thinking Enzo instead of Ellsworth, but I guess Ellsworth makes more sense.
Ellsworth is far more likely to ever come back than Enzo Amore. I think Enzo is done with WWE forever. I would say CM Punk is more likely to come back to WWE than Enzo Amore.
I just think about reactions, and I think Enzo would get a much bigger reaction than Ellsworth would.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it would be best for business, but the WWE is not always doing that.
Either way, yeah, I don't think Asuka's going to be the champion after Money in the Bank. Not yet, anyways. I think this might still continue, but I think somehow, some way, Carmella is going to still be champion after Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I agree. I just want to stick on Miz here for a second, because, I was talking about how terrible he was. Did you see that thing that he did where the pancakes were in the briefcase?
He got all mad?
When he screamed, "New Day!" Rah! That was so bad. That was ridiculous. Does Miz think he's an actor? What the hell was that? You know what it reminded me of? When, they had the Christmas episode of Raw.
Oh, yeah.
John Cena, somebody attacked Santa Claus, and John Cena was like, "Santa! No!" It really reminded me of that. Miz, he's refereeing the match between Rusev and Samoa Joe. He distracts Joe, which leads to Rusev kicking Joe with the Machka kick and getting the win. And then Rusev goes to climb the ladder, but Miz attacked him, hit his skull-crushing finale, and he grabbed the briefcase and went to get a contract, but the briefcase was full of pancakes because New Day is playing pancake pranks on Miz, and then Miz is ripping the pancakes out and saying, "New Day! New Day!" He's so angry, it's so ridiculous. It's just, man, this is the guy you want to push? This guy? This guy's good at promos? Really? God awful. Just bad.
First, when does anyone ever open up the briefcase? That never happens.
Yeah, and why is he mad that the contract isn't in there? If the contract was in there, couldn't you just take the contract and forget the match? What? It made no sense.
Yeah.
And then it ended so poorly. I was like, my God. Who wrote, "Okay, Miz," and then you just scream "New Day"? Okay, what's my line here after I open the briefcase of the pancakes? You just scream "New Day." What do you mean? You just "New Day!" Rah!
I I'm sure they underlined it over the top scream.
It was terrible. It's ridiculous. It's like, this is what I'm watching? This is what I'm watching.
Yeah.
Bad. So, who's your pick to win this Money in the Bank gimmick for the women?
It's tough.
It's very tough.
They really pushed Natty, and they really started making me believe Natty's going to win, but I'm still going with Alexa, I think. I think Alexa makes the most sense, because I could see Ronda making sure that whoever wins doesn't cash in successfully.
I think you're looking at the wrong brand, my friend. I believe Charlotte will win Money in the Bank.
It's not impossible.
I mean, when you're looking at a match with a lot of the women on it, and you're like, who's going to win? I feel like the WWE is looking at the match the same way. Like, well, what do we do? Where do we put this? How do we... And you're like, when all else fails, go with Charlotte Flair.
It's that or Alexa. I find that's the way it's been going on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, but Charlotte's the one you want to do it with. I think Charlotte, it's a good story because I believe even if Carmella walks away from Money in the Bank as the champion, Asuka will take the title from her. And Charlotte and Asuka have unfinished business. So Charlotte winning Money in the Bank and then Asuka as champion, I think is real interesting. You switch it up, too, because at WrestleMania, Charlotte was the champion, Asuka was the challenger, and
right.
Asuka could not beat Charlotte. I think it would be very interesting if, Asuka champion, Charlotte challenger, Charlotte can't beat Asuka. Like, say she says, okay, Asuka, SummerSlam, I'm cashing in Money in the Bank on you, one-on-one, she's the challenger, and then she loses to Asuka. I believe the next time they face off, it should be a big deal, and Asuka should win. And she should be champion in that match. That's a long-term story you can tell. And why not write the second chapter of that story at SummerSlam? Chapter 1, WrestleMania. Chapter 2, SummerSlam.
I can see it happen, just not with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I feel they're going to have two cash-in stories, one for one show. Raw will get the women's one, and SmackDown will get the men's one.
The old cash-in story. Am I going to do it? Am I?
You have someone like Alexa. Will she do it on Ronda? I could see that. And Samoa Joe, it'd be a lot funner with Samoa Joe teasing it than The Miz, but it's going to be either or, I think. And unfortunately, probably The Miz because it suits his character more.
All right. Will Ronda Rousey become the Raw Women's Champion?
Yes.
Well, I was going to get to that in a little bit. We're going to take a break.
Spoiled it.
John. Thanks for spoiling it. Well, you'll hear whether I think she's going to become champion or not when we come back. And we'll also talk about AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, is this when Shinsuke takes the title from AJ? Or does Shinsuke not take the title from AJ? Because I believe this is going to be the last match in their feud for now. And if AJ retains, what happens next? What happens next? It's Wrestling Uncensored right here on TSN 690.
This is Santino Morella, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
This is Rob Van Dam. You're listening to Wrestling Uncensored.
Hey, this is Trish Stratus, and you're listening to Wrestling Uncensored. Keep listening. Stratisfaction is guaranteed.
All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website, live here on TSN 690 every Saturday night, talking professional wrestling. Follow me on Twitter at Dave Simon MMA. You can follow Johnny North for all his wrestling bookings. If you want to see him in the ring, follow him at North Genesis. Now, big match here coming up tomorrow night, Money in the Bank. It is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you dads. As a new dad myself, been a dad for nearly a year now. It's a very difficult job, very difficult, very taxing, and we deserve a lot on Father's Day. So show some respect to your father, and to me, especially to me. Father's Day is all about me. I'm calling it my second birthday because you get one birthday and that's pretty good, but like second birthday, even better.
What's the hardest part about being a dad?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just give me one thing then.
I don't get to play video games nearly as much as I used to. I barely play Nintendo anymore. I'm still buying the games, but like I'm not playing them. I have that Nintendo robot thing. I have not built my cardboard robot at all. I've had the thing for like a couple months. I haven't cracked it open out of the box because it's like too much. So I think that's the hardest part of being a dad. I miss my video games.
You haven't missed your wrestling though.
No, I've been able to watch a lot of wrestling. It's easier to watch things because you can pause it and kind of keep going. But when you play video games, it's hard to just like stop and start all the time. You can never really get into it, you know? I like to sit down and play for 45 minutes, an hour. But you can't always do that if you got to stop and go do something every 10 minutes, you know? You can watch wrestling that way, though. It's easier. Watch a match, go do something. Watch another match, go do something else.
Well, you're still in the early stages, though.
You're still in the early stages.
I wish.
of your life.
Again, I wish.
Yeah, I think so. Your first third. You probably live to about 100. Look at you. You never eat anything bad. You have a perfect diet. You work out all the time. You'll live to 100 years old, Johnny North.
You never know what can happen. Life, it's a big mystery, right?
Unless I get to you first.
Or somebody else.
Oh, my God. Are people after you? Are you okay?
You never know, man. The world's a scary place.
Man. It's really got dark.
It is midnight. Past midnight.
Yeah, but I was having a nice, happy Father's Day conversation, and you just made it dark about somebody trying to murder you.
Protect your son at all times.
Protect yourself at all times. No biting, no eye gouging, no shots to the groin. Unless you're Shinsuke Nakamura in this last man standing match, in which case, shots to the groin aplenty, because Nakamura loves hitting people in the groin. He does knee to face, and he does fist to balls as well. He did fist to balls on Jeff Hardy this week. Caused a disqualification. Jeff Boy Hardy getting the victory. I thought that match was pretty cool. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jeff Hardy ends in a disqualification, and then Nakamura hit Kinshasa on Jeff and counted to 10 to kind of demonstrate that he could hit somebody in the balls and then hit his knee to face. Fist to balls, knee to face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nakamura's new WWE champion. And that's what he's hoping will happen when he faces AJ Styles tomorrow night at Money in the Bank. I'm kind of hoping it happens too. I'd like to see Nakamura as WWE champion. He hasn't won any title on the main roster. He was a great NXT champion. I feel like this is the time to do it, but I don't see it happening. You look at the potential Money in the Bank winners for SmackDown, and they make way more sense against AJ Styles than they do against Nakamura. Like if Miz wins Money in the Bank like we expect him to, him teasing a cash-in on Nakamura is kind of weird because they're both heels. Same with Samoa Joe. Him and Nakamura doesn't really make sense because Joe is a heel, whereas AJ Styles is the babyface, and it would make sense, you know? Who's the other guy on SmackDown? Well, I guess if the New Day, this is where things could get interesting. If the New Day wins Money in the Bank, they're the lone baby faces. I guess Rusev is a baby face too, technically.
Kind of.
Well, he wrestled Joe this week, and he seemed to be the baby face in that match, right?
Right.
So, but if New Day wins and Nakamura wins, that's kind of cool. Like New Day as Money in the Bank winners teasing a cash-in on the new champion Shinsuke Nakamura, that changes SmackDown in an instant. That's a brand new SmackDown when you tune in on Tuesday night. And it's interesting.
I think fair to say the Money in the Bank men's match is going to be the main event, right? So you'll know AJ Nakamura before you get into that. So you'll know if it's going to be a face or a heel, pretty much based off the AJ Nakamura result.
If Nakamura wins, things get real interesting.
They do.
What would you rather tune into on Tuesday night? What do you think would get higher ratings? AJ Styles retaining his title with The Miz potentially challenging him, or Shinsuke Nakamura as new WWE champion with The New Day as the Money in the Bank winners. If you tune into SmackDown on Tuesday night with AJ and Miz, it's kind of the same old show. If you tune into SmackDown on Tuesday night with New Day and Nakamura, it's a new face of SmackDown. The show shifts. The landscape changes.
If you gave me AJ and Joe, I think that's the best case scenario.
I don't think it is. Because what are you really doing there? Like, okay, it's cool. AJ and Joe have had amazing matches in the past. They haven't had a match in the WWE yet. But Shinsuke Nakamura has never been WWE champion. The New Day's never been elevated to that level. I think that needs to happen more than Joe and AJ again. Because I've seen Joe and AJ wrestle tons of times. And it's really good. But I think it's better when Christopher Daniels is there.
It was.
So, like, do I need to see it again? I believe that I have seen the best possible match between AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. I believe I have seen those matches before. I think the WWE, the match that they could have, could be really good. Really good. But I'm not as excited to see it as I would be for, the New Day as the winners of Money in the Bank. That's way more cool to me. Because it's something new. It's a new concept. It's changing the game. Wrestling's got to change. It's got to evolve. If you're the WWE, what is a new idea? Is it taking something that TNA did 10 years ago? Or elevating your own guys, the New Day, a homegrown group that has become bigger than the WWE at this point?
Well, as of late, it's been taking what TNA did, just redoing it. That's pretty much what they've been doing.
Well, it's not new and it's not exciting, and it doesn't capture my imagination. It's quite boring, to be honest. I don't need to see something that I've seen before. I've seen it before. I want to see something new. Imagine that. Something new. You know why I was really excited about Chris Jericho versus Tetsuya Naito?
Because you never saw it?
Never seen it before. Okay? And, yes, I was excited about Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. We'd seen it 3 times before. But we've seen AJ Styles and Samoa Joe like 100 times. And it's not their moment, really, to do that. It's not the time. It's happened before.
Problem is, they don't really have a lot of time left. They're both now in their 40s. Now it's now or never, really, if they're going to do it in WWE.
Okay. I'm not, vehemently opposed to it, like I am to The Miz and AJ Styles. Like, who wants to see that?
That's worst case, I think.
Who wants to see that? But I'd rather see the New Day elevated to that next level. I really think that's the most important thing that the WWE could do to change their business and make it better. Joe is already at that level. Miz is already kind of at that level. The New Day is not. And they should be. A Money in the Bank win here elevates them. I cannot stress this enough. They deserve it. Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, Big E, all as individuals deserve it. We still have not had an African-American WWE champion. Ever. It's about time. It's a New Day's time. It's their time. It's just, it's past due as well. It's like, it's been their time.
I just feel that they would hype it better. They really haven't given you the impression that, yeah, these guys are going to be WWE champion in the future.
So shock the world. What are we trying to do here? Are we trying to get you ready for a big surprise? Or are we just trying to surprise you? Hey, guys, get ready. New Day is going to be champion. No, get ready. It's going to happen. And then it happens, and you're like, yeah, we knew this was going to happen. You told us this already. Surprise me once in a while. Shock me once in a while. They don't bring that. They don't bring that shock and awe factor. Give me the New Day winning that briefcase, please. Please, Mr. Triple H. I don't want to, I want to give it to Randy. Triple H, Randy is not in the match. Come on. Hey, this is what we're going to do. Remember when Kofi was taken out of the Elimination Chamber? We're going to do it again, this time with Randy. I could see that.
I could see something where Kofi gets hurt and then Big E replaces him, kind of thing. Or
No, Randy. No. Me, the game. I'm gonna win Money in the Bank, 'cause I'm gonna challenge Brock Lesnar, at WrestleMania. Could see them doing that.
Of course, Triple H, yeah.
Terrible. So you think AJ Styles is going to retain the WWE title? I do. I'm expecting worst case scenario here, okay? Miz is going to win Money in the Bank. AJ's going to win the WWE Championship. He's going to retain against Shinsuke. Charlotte's going to win the women's Money in the Bank. Status quo, business as usual. Charlotte, AJ, Miz on top.
Maybe so, but the match...
What do they have in common? What do they have in common?
They're all usually champions.
They're all white people.
Okay, fine. We're going to play the race card.
Well, I'm just saying. You know, come on. Not Nakamura, AJ Styles. Not the New Day, The Miz. Not Ember Moon or Sasha Banks. Or, Charlotte Flair. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. It's worth pointing out.
Well, it's worth pointing out that The Rock was half black.
Yeah, but his father was like Canadian. He was Samoan, you know?
Even more so. Like a Canadian kind of was WWE champion.
Yeah, not really, though. The Rock's nowhere near Canadian. But you know what I mean. The Rock, you look at him and, I'm saying we haven't had an African-American WWE champion. That's a fact. The Rock is not African-American.
I don't think it's a pressing issue. I'm sure for some it is a pressing issue, but I don't feel in WWE it's a pressing issue.
I think it's odd that it hasn't happened yet with the WWE Championship.
Well, it should have happened with Bobby Lashley, but for some reason it didn't.
Should have happened with a lot of guys. Booker T, Mark Henry. Should have happened with a lot of guys.
They got the World Heavyweight.
Yeah, but never the WWE Championship, which is odd. Why has it not happened?
Timing. Time is everything.
Well, it's a New Day's time.
I don't feel it is a New Day's time.
Is it Ronda Rousey's time? Is she going to beat Nia Jax?
I thought this week was really impressive. Probably the best Nia-Ronda confrontation we had this week. And it just solidified the fact that Ronda's going to win this week.
Nia's promo was not that good, but Ronda's promo was. I think Ronda cut the best promo of her career on Raw this week. Talking about she was born ready. She's going into the UFC Hall of Fame. She's going to make Nia Jax tap out. Nia's saying, like, Ronda, you're not ready for me. You don't know how to deal with me. And everybody else is sitting there saying, Nia, do you know who you're talking to? It's Ronda Rousey. Do you understand who you're talking to? It's just like, Nia is not believable in anything she says. Because you look at her and you're like, Ronda Rousey would smash you to pieces. And I think she probably does. And then she did. She, Nia got in her face. Ronda grabbed her by the arm, made her tap out to the armbar. And then the bell rang for some reason. Did you notice that?
I didn't notice that, but that's hilarious.
The bell rang. So Nia, puts her in this was a promo. Ronda puts Nia in the armbar, and Nia's tapping out, and then somebody goes ding ding ding, like the match had ended. There was no match. The bell rang.
Well, sometimes they ring the bell just to tell security, like, get out here.
But that wasn't it at all.
That's odd. That's funny, though.
It was really weird. Also, the ladder promo that they started Raw with, can we stop doing that?
That was really bad.
It was so bad.
It was terrible.
You have Braun Strowman, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Natalya, and Ember Moon all in the ring on the top of ladders. Now, excuse me, but isn't Braun Strowman the guy you cannot trust? Isn't he a monster among men? Doesn't he go on rampages backstage and knock entire stages over and break everything? Doesn't he go bananas all the time? Are we really supposed to trust him in a ring on top of ladders where there are women on top of ladders in that same ring? What if he decided to go berserk? Why did Kurt Angle allow that? Made absolutely no sense. It's just a bad promo. It's awkward. You would think that they should all fight each other, but it was the men and the women in the ring together. Terrible. And the promo wasn't even good. They were all talking to each other. Constable Corbin was there. My goodness, that was bad. No more of those.
Yeah, it's too much because everyone's talking over each other and no one really gets a point across. Maybe Kevin kind of did, Alexa did, but everyone else was kind of just there, not really doing anything.
Yeah.
And nothing happens. Nothing happens. It's the worst part about it. It's just talk and then just go to commercial. Terrible.
And then they're like, all right, the women are going to have their fatal four-way now.
And then they have to go out and do intros again. I don't understand. They have entrances. They're already there. Why did they have to do that?
I have no idea. It was very strange.
Match was good, though.
Yeah, good match, but the promo was just awful. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre beat Breezango. They cut a promo after the match about going for the tag team titles. They're going to have to wait, though, because the B team is getting the shot at Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. I don't imagine the B team is going to win the tag titles here, though, right?
Well, because they've set up the next challengers, probably not.
Yeah. It's just a ridiculous match. Total throwaway. Not something I care to see. And there's a lot of these matches on Money in the Bank that, we haven't talked about yet because I really don't care about them. Like the Raw tag team title match, like the SmackDown tag team title match, the Bludgeon Brothers against Gallows and Anderson. I don't think anybody's expecting Gallows and Anderson to take the titles here. I mean, the match could be good, but I feel like it's had no real build. There's no reason for me to be excited about this.
It's also on the kickoff show, so I don't think it's going to be anything special.
Roman Reigns wrestling Jinder Mahal. Jinder had a promo on Raw, and then Roman wrestled one of the Singh brothers. And now it's Roman and Jinder again. I don't know if anybody cares about that one.
It's just to get it over with, and Roman has a match. That's it.
Superman punch, spear, 1, 2, 3. Roman wins. That's really all it is.
That's all it has to be.
It's an enhancement match for Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins defending the Intercontinental Championship against Elias. I'm ready to walk away from Elias and Seth Rollins. I'm done with those guys. Could not care less for this match. Elias will not win the Intercontinental Championship. I don't think the match will be very good. I want no part of it. I know what's going to happen before the match starts. Rollins wins. The match isn't good. I don't need to see this. I can already tell you what's going to happen.
Well, I think a lot of people would argue that Seth Rollins had the best match last pay-per-view. So let's see what he can do with Elias.
Yeah, well, those people will be wrong.
I know a lot of people argue with you about that, so yes.
Fine. Could be wrong all you want. Bobby Lashley against Sami Zayn one-on-one, another match. So, yeah, okay. They're going to do this. I figure Lashley's just going to beat up Sami Zayn and win the match. I'd be real surprised if Sami won, right?
Well, I'd be surprised if it's really much in the ring because Sami seems to stay away from Lashley. You saw this week when they did the whole boot camp obstacle course.
Yeah. That was kind of funny. Sammy's like, I still don't believe you were in the Army, Bobby Lashley. I'm going to put you through this obstacle course so you can prove yourself. And he's like, I'm going to go against you in the obstacle course, and I'm going to beat your time. Lashley goes first, and Lashley's going through the obstacles. Then Sammy just attacks him, and he just beats him up. I thought that was really funny. He was just like, yeah, forget all this. I'm just going to attack you. And the setup to that, I mean, it must have taken a while to set up all those obstacles. They must have spent money on that. They're really they're spending money on these Lashley-Sammy promos. They have to hire those 3 guys to be Lashley's sisters. They're spending money on this obstacle course. Like, there's effort being put into this, and I don't think there really needs to be because no one is really enjoying it.
Yeah, the payoff might not be that great if it's just going to be Lashley destroying Sammy.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be, Lashley's revenge.
You hope for more because Sammy is a very good wrestler, and he deserves better than just being squashed.
We're not going to get more. It's going to be Lashley's revenge. You know that's what it's going to be. You hope for more, but, man, I really doubt it. I really doubt it. And that brings us to Nia and Ronda. Like, I think Ronda wins here. I think Ronda will take the title from her. It's Ronda's time. Go Ronda. I see no reason why Ronda should not be the Raw Women's Champion. If Brock Lesnar is a Universal Champion and never shows up, Ronda is on Raw like every week. She should be the Raw Women's Champion. There's no badder, more compelling character. I mean, she's legit. She's a huge star. She's a bigger star than everybody on Raw. She's the most marketable person that the WWE has in their entire company. Put the title on her. Like, what are we waiting for here?
The only question I have is what kind of match we're going to get. Is this going to also be a squash, or are they going to wrestle for like 10 minutes?
It should be a squizosh, my friend. 2 minutes and under. I mean, Ronda was beating MMA fighters in under 60 seconds. She should be able to take Nia Jax in no time.
Given how protected Ronda is, I'd be very surprised if we see a long match. It feels like they only give Ronda little moments here and there, but I feel they would do more than just a squash. They try to make it a bit more spectacular.
I think Ronda could have a spectacular squash against Nia Jax. I don't think the match lasts more than 5 minutes. I think Ronda wins the title, as she should. Unless something really screwy happens, I think Ronda's going to be the champion. And I'm happy about that. That's what I'm looking forward to the most on this card. Ronda Rousey. I think she should be the main event. She's Ronda Rousey. She's a bigger star than anybody else on this card. Watch them put Roman and Jinder last.
Yeah, this time, well, they did it last time. I had a feeling they would do it. This time, yeah, I don't see that happening whatsoever. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like you say, Ronda, like she is in a sense a main event. And why not put her as the main event, especially if it's going to be a squash?
They don't have a bigger star on this card. Cena's not on the card. Brock's not on the card. Ronda's the biggest star they have right now. Who is a bigger name on Money in the Bank than Ronda Rousey?
The thing is, it's Money in the Bank, so you also have to key in the fact that there might be a cash-in as well.
I guess, but who cares? It's Ronda Rousey's, maybe there will be a cash-in. Maybe Ronda wins and she gets cashed in on right away. But I think she should main event. She should close the show. It's Ronda Rousey.
There's not the belief that there'd be a cash-in during the match and someone would beat Nia instead and steal the win from Ronda?
Maybe. A lot of things could happen. You never know, right? It's unpredictable. I don't think the WWE's really sure. But I think Charlotte probably wins that thing. And we don't see a cash-in at Money in the Bank. I don't think anybody cashes in on the same night that they win it. Not this year.
Yeah, probably not.
And that brings us to Daniel Bryan and Big Cass. Once again, Daniel Bryan will wrestle Big Cass. Bryan, for me, was the highlight of SmackDown, like he is the highlight of every show that he's on. I really enjoyed his match with Shelton Benjamin. Bryan wins via heel hook submission. That was the first time ever as well. Just a good old-fashioned dream match on a throwaway Tuesday night on SmackDown. Thank you, Paige, I guess, the GM of SmackDown, for putting those matches together, brother.
I was a bigger fan of the Rusev-Samoa Joe match, though.
Really?
That was fun. Just two big guys going in there and hitting each other. That's fun.
Oh, I'm a Daniel Bryan guy.
I thought it was a good match, too. It's just...
Daniel Bryan and Shelton Benjamin? Are you kidding me?
That was good, but it also showed to me that Sheldon, he's really, slowed down a couple speeds.
Couldn't keep up with D-Bry.
Well, he's gotten older, too. That happens.
D-Bry is the best in the game. And Big Cass cut another long promo. Not as long as last week, thankfully. But Cass says that a big man, a good big man, will always beat a good little man. Now, that's a line that he's repeating quite often. Because Cass is very big and Daniel Bryan is not as big. And that's basically all Cass is saying. He's 7 feet tall. He had a carnival sign for a roller coaster and saying Daniel Bryan doesn't meet the height requirement for the ride or whatever. Real gimmicky, real stupid, real bad promo from Big Cass. But the line that he keeps repeating, a good big man will beat a good little man, is true. What he's saying is true. If you are equal in skill, in fighting skill, in wrestling skill, whatever, and you have a size advantage, you will win. The problem is Big Cass isn't a good big man. He's just a big man. And Daniel Bryan isn't just a good little man. He is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So in theory, Cass, what you're saying is true, but you're not a good big man. You're not good at all. And I really hope Daniel Bryan beats Big Cass again at Money in the Bank, and then we can move on from all this Daniel Bryan, Big Cass nonsense. Big Cass should never, ever wrestle Daniel Bryan again.
Well, if he loses, it's not going to happen. Maybe a tag match or something, but pay-per-view, not going to happen. But Big Cass needs to win. He needs it a lot more than Daniel Bryan does. And
yeah, but Daniel Bryan can't lose to Big Cass. Like, really? It's just ridiculous. Daniel Bryan needs to stay super strong.
I just think there's a bigger reaction to Daniel Bryan losing than winning in this one. And if he wins, it's like, yeah, he should win. But if he loses, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he lost.
It's like, oh my God, I can't believe the WWE put Big Cass over Daniel Bryan. What the hell are they thinking? My God, I want to stop watching this show. I hate the WWE. When's the next New Japan show?
I'd be interested to see what they're going to go with Daniel Bryan, but all right, that's one way of looking at it.
I'd just be angry. I'd be like, oh, really? Miz wins Money in the Bank. Big Cass beats Daniel Bryan. Nia Jax somehow beats Ronda clean. Carmella beats Asuka clean. Tune in for the Money in the Bank post show. I'll be on YouTube right after Money in the Bank. YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net. Ringside Report. DOTNET is our YouTube channel. I will be live tweeting as well during the show, and then right after show, I'll be on YouTube. So follow me on Twitter at DaveSimonMMA for all the links on that. Follow Johnny North at North Genesis. WrestlingUncensored.net is our website. Subscribe on iTunes. We're on Google Play, anywhere you get your podcast. You subscribe on iTunes, real easy. Then all the shows get automatically downloaded to your device. You've got Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report Radio, and the new show, What's Fandom in Japan, Episode 3 just dropping this week, where we reviewed New Japan's Dominion card featuring Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, and some incredible matches. Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada. What a card that was last weekend. Johnny North, you have some pretty awesome matches. You're pretty good at wrestling yourself. When can people see you in the ring?
Well, my next show, unfortunately, was canceled, so
Oh,
maybe I'll be at the post show with you this Sunday. We'll wait and see.
oh, okay. I didn't know that was happening. Are you going to be on the post show or not?
I can be, if you'll have me.
Well, yeah, of course.
All right, so I'll be there.
Here we go. Me and Johnny live after Money in the Bank. So you have no next booking to promote?
Not yet, no.
Okay, cool. Maybe on Sunday you'll have something else. Tomorrow night, live after Money in the Bank, me and Johnny North talking Money in the Bank. I want to thank Jimmy and Marco for helping us out back at TSN 690, and a big thanks to you for listening. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon. We'll see you right after Money in the Bank. This has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah.
Yeah.